Hey everyone, welcome back to Database History. This is the show where we really dig into the tech that pushes performance to the absolute limit. And let's be real, in a world that wants answers right now, a lot of databases, well, they make you wait. So today, we're going to look at one built to completely erase that waiting time. It's called Kinetica, and it was designed from the ground up for just one thing: pure, mind-blowing, real-time speed. All right, so let's just start with a question that I'm pretty sure everyone in the data world has asked themselves. You know the one. In this age of instant everything, why are we still waiting for our data? I mean, you're waiting for that report to run, waiting for a dashboard to finally load, just staring at the screen while some batch job finishes up. It's frustrating, right?
Well, the simple answer is that a lot of the tools we've been using for years, they just weren't built for the world we live in today. I mean, the sheer amount of data, the speed it comes at us, how complex it all is, it can totally overwhelm a conventional database. And that leads to all those frustrating delays and bottlenecks. That, right there, that's the exact problem Kinetica was built to fix. So, okay, if the old way of doing things is the problem, what's the solution? Well, it turns out the answer was kind of hiding in plain sight. You know where? Inside those high-performance graphics cards, the GPUs that power all our video games and super serious scientific computing. To really get this, we have to kind of shift how we think about a computer processing information. So what is Kinetica exactly? Okay, let's break it down. At its heart, it's a distributed columnar database. Now, distributed just means it spreads the work across a bunch of machines, so no single one gets bogged down. And columnar? That just means it stores data in columns, not rows. Think about it. It's way faster to grab just the price column from a huge sales table than to read every single row one by one. But the real secret sauce, the magic ingredient, is how it uses GPUs. Here's the best way to picture it. A normal CPU is like one master chef, super smart, doing really complex tasks one after the other. A GPU? That's like an army of 1,000 line cooks, all chopping onions at the exact same time. For huge amounts of data, that parallel army is just unbelievably, ridiculously fast. And look, when we say it can handle scale, we really mean it. We're talking about sifting through and analyzing billions of records. And not in hours, not even in minutes, but in moments. The whole idea here is to just get rid of the entire concept of waiting for a batch job. The goal is simple: instant answers. But here's what's so cool about it. It's not just about raw speed. It's about what you can do with that speed. First off, it has full SQL support. That's huge, because it means data teams don't have to learn some weird new language. They can just use what they already know. Then, it absolutely crushes geospatial queries. Think tracking thousands of delivery trucks on a map, all in real time. It's also built for time series analysis, data that's changing every single second, like from IoT sensors or the stock market. And this is a big one. It plugs right into machine learning pipelines, feeding those AI models the super fast, fresh data they need to be accurate. And this slide just says it all, right? We're not talking about a little 10 or 20% speed bump here. No way. This is a fundamental, game-changing shift. The kinds of queries that used to take minutes, the ones where you hit run and go grab a coffee, they're done in seconds with Kinetica. And that completely changes how you work. It even changes the kinds of questions you dare to ask your data. So you might be wondering, where did this beast of a technology come from? Well, it wasn't born in some typical Silicon Valley garage. Its origins are in one of the most demanding, high-stakes data environments you can possibly imagine. Yeah, if you look at the timeline, Kinetica actually got its start back in 2009, and its mission was incredibly specific: to help with U.S. defense and intelligence work. So after being truly battle-tested in that world, the tech was eventually brought over to the commercial side to power analytics for businesses just like any other. And that's the key takeaway here. This thing was built from day one to solve the absolute hardest data problems. I mean, just try to picture it. You've got thousands of moving objects to track, a flood of data from countless sensor feeds, and you need to pull it all together into one clear picture, and it all has to happen in real time, when the stakes couldn't be higher. That's literally in the DNA of Kinetica. Okay, so with an origin story like that, you have to ask, right? How does Kinetica actually stack up against the other big names in the data world today? Let's take a look. This comparison table is super telling. Okay, so you look at something like Snowflake, a powerhouse cloud data warehouse, right? Kinetica's edge is that intense focus on real-time analytics, not just the big batch jobs. Then you've got ClickHouse, another really fast database. The difference there is that Kinetica is GPU native. It was built from the ground up for that army of cooks architecture, giving it this massive advantage. And finally, against something like Apache Druid, Kinetica is specifically designed for those really complex streaming and spatial jobs, which, goes right back to its roots in intelligence work.
All right, so we've established it's fast, it's powerful, and it's unique. But that brings us to the most important question of all. So what? Why does all this split-second speed actually matter out there in the real world?
Oh, it matters in a ton of ways. For a logistics company, it means optimizing thousands of delivery routes on the fly, not at the end of the day. In finance, it's the difference between catching a fraudulent transaction before it goes through instead of cleaning up the mess after. For a telecom company, it's about analyzing network performance second by second to stop outages before they even happen. And yeah, going back to its roots, it's about providing critical battlefield intelligence. Bottom line, this kind of speed makes decisions possible that were just flat out impossible before.
And here's something that's absolutely crucial for any modern company. All this power isn't locked into one place. Kinetica was designed to be super flexible. You can run it on your own servers if you want, on-prem. You can run it in any of the big clouds. Or you can even push it right out to the edge, getting it closer to where all that data is actually being created. When you boil it all down, this is really what it's all about. Kinetica isn't just trying to be a little bit faster than the next guy. Its whole mission is to completely reset our expectations of what fast even means when we talk about data.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. For decades, right, we've basically built our workflows and even the questions we ask based on the limitations of our technology. We've been trained to wait. But what happens when those limitations just disappear? What new kinds of questions will we finally be able to ask? As our data gets faster and faster, what really becomes possible when we don't have to wait anymore?